بشيرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم من همزه ونفخه ونفثه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. Dear respected brothers and sisters, after praising Almighty Allah and sending salutations and blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, following the advice of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is my advice to all of you, including myself, to have the taqwa of Almighty Allah. Fear Allah as He should be feared. Whoever fear Almighty Allah in this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make for him a way out from his problems, and Allah will provide him his sustain from the ways which he would never imagine. And in hereafter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make the person fearless until he will enter into Jannatul Firdausul A'la. We ask Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the path of taqwa easy for all of us and count all of us among al-muttaqun on the day of judgment. Dear brothers, there is a small chapter in the Quran, Surah Al-Asr. And this Surah Al-Asr, most of us memorize it. In this Surah Al-Asr, there are four important fundamental foundations mentioned about our religion. Wal-Asr, innal insana lafi khusr. By the time, indeed human beings are in loss. In loss in every aspect which we can imagine. We are in loss in our age. By every second we are passing, we are getting closer to Allah subhanahu to our death. We are in loss because we are losing the opportunities we have in our hand to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the exception, and this exception from these losers are the foundation of our religion. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, except those who believe, who have faith. 6 articles of faith. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and they do good deeds. 5 pillars of Iman. وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, and they advise each other to have the patience. Patience, really, really important. وَتَوَاسُوا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاسُوا بِالصَّبْرِ. So the first 2 pillars, the haqq, the truth, they advise each other to stick to that one, to spread that one, and then whatever comes on the way, they will have patience on that. So the first foundation is the Iman. The second foundation is Amal, actions. Third foundation is Da'wah. And the last and final foundation is Sabr, patience. In today's khutbah, we'll speak about patience. The scholars mention that there are more than 90 ayats in the Quran which speak about patience. Some of those ayats speaks directly to have the patience, seek the patience from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah, seek the help of Allah through the salat and patience. And there are some ayats which mention the fruit of being patient and the evil effect and the punishment of not having the patience. But just to understand this importance of patience, look at this ayah, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described. He says, Wallahu yuhibbu sabirin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those who have the patience. Love those who have the patience. Not only this, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, Inna Allaha ma'as sabirin. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with those who have the patience. So He does not only love them, but He is with them. So it's really, really important for a believer to have the patience in every aspect of his life. Another place Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ, and give the glad tidings to those who have patience. الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ, when some evil befalls upon those people, قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. So they say we belong to Allah and we were returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَيْهِمْ صَلَوَاتٌ مِّن رَبِّهِمْ وَرَحْمَةٌ. Upon them there is a salawat, there is a blessings from their Lord upon them, and mercy upon them. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُهْتَدُونَ. And these are the guided people. So these all ayats are giving us the importance of the patience. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that to gain the success of this dunya and akhirah, you need to have the patience. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sabiru wa sabiru wa rabitu wattaqullaha la'allakum tuflihun. O people, have patience. Advise each other to have the patience, support and help each other, and fear Allah, so you may be successful in this dunya and akhirah. And the last ayah related to this topic for this today's khutbah is وَلَئِن صَبَرْتُمْ لَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لِلصَّابِرِينَ. If you have patience, then patience are good for you. These were a few of the ayats from the Quran which encourage us to have the patience. And imagine the understanding of the patience from this hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. And we'll take this only one hadith. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, مَا أُعْتِيَ أَحَدٌ عَطَاء أَوْسَعْ وَلَا خَيْرَ مِنَ الصَّبْرِ. Whoever have been gifted something, so there is no better gift or greater gift than the patience. This is what the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said. Now, what is this patience? When should we have the patience? Many times we have the patience when we cannot do anything against anybody. If somebody does wrong to us and we cannot teach him a lesson, so we say, okay, I'll have patience. But if we can teach him a lesson, or if we can take the revenge from him, at that time we don't bother about patience. We don't think about patience. We just go and take the revenge. This is what normally happens in the world. Most of the time, weak person, he believes that he have the patience. He'll have the patience against the oppressor because he cannot do anything. But Islamic patience is not about that. The one patience we are talking about, and Islam encourages us to have, this patience is at the time when you can take the revenge, you can teach the lesson, you have more power than others, and the others, they have done wrong to you. So even though you can take revenge, everything, but you say, I'll have patience and forgive you. This is what Islam wants from you. That's why there is a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Laysa ash-shadidu bis-sur'ah. Innama ash-shadid alladhi yamliku nafsahu inda al-ghadab." The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the wrestler is not the one who beat the other person, who overtake the other person, who win over other party. He's not the wrestler. Wrestler is the one, the stronger person is the one. He would control his anger when he is angry. So this is the wrestler. This is the successful person. This is the strong person. So this sort of patience Islam wants you to have. Let's take few of the examples from the lives of the prophets to understand this patience more, and inshallah we'll try to get that sort of patience in our life. And as they were successful, inshallah we'll be successful, because this is the promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The patience, when it comes the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to do that command of Allah, you need to have the patience. To do the command of Allah, you need to have the patience. For example, there is a command of Allah, and we don't like that command because of our laziness, because we don't want to do it, or whatever it is. Even though we don't want it, even though it looks very hard for us to do, we have the patience against that hardness, and we go and we do that command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the sabr ala ta'atillah. This is the patience upon the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To obey Allah, whatever you have to fight with, whatever you have to get rid of, whatever you have to overcome it, you do it just to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is one sort of patience. Look at Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded him to slaughter his son, Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. And the story is famous. Just to understand the relationship between Ibrahim and Ismail, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam with Ismail when Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam very old man. He was a really old man. His wife was old too. So when the glad tidings of the son came, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to bless you with son Ismail, she started laughing. She said, how come I am overage and I'm not able to give birth now, I'm old lady now. So she started laughing. How come I am going to have the son? So she is old. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam is old. And then at that time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed them the child. After lots of du'as to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the child came. And the child reached the age of puberty. He is just able to start running, doing, and able to help and support the parents. He is in that age. And the command of Allah comes that slaughter the son. So think about this. How much love is there? How much attachment is there? And what Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam is doing. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he loves the son, but there is a command of Allah. Have to have the patience. Have to control his own feelings, his own love. So what he did, he took the son and he slaughtered the son. When he was slaughtered, you know all the story. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replaced Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam with the lamb or the sheep of the Jannah. And that's why we do the Eid al-Adha. And this is the sunnah we repeat when we go to the Hajj. Now, think about this. Patience upon the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Think about the son. The son who is lying there and he's saying, Ya abati f'al ma tu'mar. Oh my dad, do what Allah has commanded you. Don't ask me, why you are asking? Allah commanded you, do it. And in some of the narrations it says that the son was lying. So the son said, oh dad, put me upside down. In some of the riwayat it's mentioned, put me upside down, because when you will be slaughtering, if you see my face, you will stop. The love will stop you. So you have full patience. Why? How? You put me upside down and then slaughter me. This is the patience. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want your blood. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want your flesh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to check your taqwa, whether you will listen to Allah or not. He commanded Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam and he did. And the scholars mention, if at that time, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had allowed Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam and the son was slaughtered, every Muslim had to slaughter his son. Subhanallah. The mercy of Allah he replaced with the lamb. So the point here is, the patience upon the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what we need to have. Command of Allah, let's take in our life, performing the salat. Command of Allah. Very hard, very hard to keep up. But command of Allah, we have to have the patience to do the salah. Command of Allah not to go close to fawahish. Yes, very hard. Not to go close to the fawahish. Be away from the music, be away from this and that. We have to do that. So this is the command of Allah, we will do it. Command of Allah not to backbite, not to slander each other, not to accuse each other, not to just spread the rumors. This all, we need the patience in this all when we are doing. If we have that patience at that time, even though all the proofs are proving that this might have happened, but if you don't have the certain knowledge, don't open your mouth. That's why some of the scholars says, when it comes to this sort of patience, some of the scholars says, having the good dhan about the brothers, this is another part of the patience. What did they say? If I see somebody, he's standing on the mountain, and he's claiming and he's saying, Ana Rabbukumul A'la. As Fir'aun said, that I am your Lord, greatest Lord. I am your Lord. Fir'aun said this. So if somebody claims that one and he's on the mountain, and you listen to him, he's saying, I'll give him a chance. I'll not just make a judgment against him straight away, but I'll give him a chance. I'll have the patience about it. What is this patience? He say, I'll think that he'll be reciting the ayah of the Quran. He'll give him the excuse. If I have seen somebody, the alcohol is dripping from his beard, I would give him an excuse by having the patience. I'll not accuse him. I'll not slander him. I'll not tell him this and that, but I'll say, oh, maybe somebody have dropped some alcohol on him. Give him the excuse. This all narrows down to our daily life. This is the sabr upon the ta'ah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is one kind of sabr. And this topic can go more and more, but I believe that this example of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam with his son can bring a lot and change a lot in us to have the patience upon the commands of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is another patience. The patience to be away from the sins. To be away from the sins. Let's take this example. Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, the story of Yusuf, most of us know. While he was a child, his brothers got jealous of him, and then because of this jealousy, they put him in the well, and they narrated to the father that one of the animal has ate him, and then he got caught by a caravan. The caravan brought him to the market, they sold him, and the king bought him, and then he started living in the house of the king as a mahkum, as under the king, as a abid. So what happened? He was growing up, and as we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the most beauty you can imagine. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given to Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. He was the most handsome ever. And he grown up. And what happened? The king's wife, her heart came on him, and then she wanted to have haram with him. Now, Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, imagine his situation. First of all, he is mamluk. Mamluk means he was bought from the market, so as a slave. He is living in the house of the king. Young. He is young. And there is nobody where he can go and fulfill his sexual desire. He is young. And he is unmarried. And he is unknown to the people because he is not from that city. He is from the other city. So what happened when people are in the same city, they don't want to do anything haram because people will point the fingers. So they go to another city and then they do their all rubbish there and they come back because they don't want that blame or people will be talking about them. So that was there. So he was not known to the people. And he was a slave, and also the lady was beautiful too. And the lady was master's wife. And the master was absent. Nobody was there. Look at these all scenarios, the circumstances. And then he was not willing to go to her. She wanted him to come. She is inviting. So she has mansab, she has position, beauty, everything. And she is calling him. And then the way of call was not normal. It was with full hirs, with full force. If you don't do, you'll go to prison. That was the language there. So come, do, otherwise you'll be in prison. This all were there. These all elements were forcing Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam to do the sin. After all these elements, what he did? He had the patience. He said, no, I'm not going to do this. This is haram. He just left and he ran away from the circumstances. And we know the story. Now, from this story, come back and narrow it down to our daily lives. Having patience against the haram things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made for us. Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam ran away from zina. And what about us? How we can implement it in our daily life? There are so many dawa'i ila shar. There are so many elements calling us to have the haram. One of the things which I say most of the time is mortgage. All our minds calculate. I'm paying rent, I'm paying rent, I'm paying rent. 25 years, 30 years I'm staying. But if I take the mortgage upon riba, interest-based mortgage, in 25 years, 30 years, the whole house will be mine. So the element which is catching me, the catchy thing is telling me, where is your aql gone? Where is your aql gone? Where is your intellect gone? Calculation, 25 years you'll be the owner. Why you just waste the money by giving as a rent and rent and rent? But as-sabr anil ma'asi. You have to have the sabr against these all sins. And this sin of interest is not small minor sin. It's a huge, big sin. It is the declaring war against Allah and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And they are declaring the war against you. And who will be in the better position when they are declaring war against Allah, your creator, your originator? Think about this. So have to have patience. No, people will talk about this. Let them talk. They are not going to come to take you out from your hellfire. No. You look after your Jannah. You look after your Jannah. Yusuf alayhi salatu, nobody was there to stop him. Nobody would have bring this matter out. How this matter came out of that room? It came out of that room because he ran away from there. And at that time he found the master at the door. But if that sin had happened, nobody would know it. But he ran away. Why? Sabr, the patience against the haram of Allah. So this is what we need to have. And that applies to everything. Few of the examples we have given about backbiting and slandering. And one of the scenarios is, most of the time we sit with the brothers talking to each other and somebody's saying something, assumption or accusation about somebody else. We listen to him and then we start passing to others. And we say, no, they were talking. I'm not saying, I don't believe it, but I'm just passing it. Even if you just pass it, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, كَفَى بِالْمَرْءِ كَذِبًا أَنْ يُحَدِّثْ كُلَّ مَا سَمِعَ. It is enough for a person to be a liar, same sinner as others, that he is just taking the information and passing to others. You receive a message on Facebook, on WhatsApp. without cross-checking, you just forward it. يَبْلُغُ الْآفَاقِ. It will go to the horizons all around the world in seconds. And this, later on it comes to be a lie or slander or something like this. What happens? You'll be a sinner. And you know what is the punishment, as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in one of the hadiths? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that an angel will have a hook in his hand, metal hook, and he will put in the nose and the mouth of the person, and he will rip it until the back of the neck. And then the angel will go other side, and then he'll do the same. By that time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will recover this side, and then angel will come. And this process will go round and round in cycle, round and round and round, until his punishment will finish. Who is this person for? The one who just listen to the people and lies and just spread out. Be careful. Your WhatsApp, your Facebook, your Instagram, just forwarding, not good. Lot of problem will come. So you have to have the patience at that time before you forward that message. What is the patience? Cross-check. Is it true or not? If it is true, is there any benefit in sending it, or I'm just sending for the sake of sending? Think about this. This is the patience. This is what our religion teaches. This is another patience. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us tawfiq. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all of us those who have the patience in their life. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa ala mawala amma ba'd. Dear brothers, there is another kind of patience. We talk about two kind of patience. One, to do good, you need to have the patience. Second one, to stop ourselves from the evil, we need to have patience. The third kind of patience is about when something happens which we don't have control about. It is all from Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You did your best, and then the result did not come to the way which you are expecting. You need to have the patience at that time. Or it's nothing to do with you, but all of a sudden some problem came to you, and you have no control over it. Patience at that time. Look at the story of Ayyub alayhi salatu wassalam. Ayyub alayhi salatu wassalam, he got ill. Really bedridden. Everybody left him. Everybody ran away from him. But he had the patience. That's why when we talk about this story, we talk about Sabr Ayyub, we say. The patience of Ayyub alayhi salatu wassalam. So those sort of things, earthquakes happen. Lot of wars happen. Lot of people get killed. We feel very bad, but we need to have the patience and do what is right to us. So this is called the patience upon the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What decided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which you don't have the control. As per the first two things, you have the control. If you want to do it, you can do it. If you want to stop it, you can stop it. But this one, you don't have it. You got ill. You don't have control over it. Earthquake or tsunami or something, you don't have control over it. But when something happens like this, a believer should have the patience. The meaning of the patience at that time is, this is what happened, even though it does not look good to me, but I will have the patience because this is decided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so there will be a khair in it. This is what a Muslim thinks. There will be a khair in it, and then he will have the patience. He will not start complaining to everybody. He will not go and say, why Allah has chosen me, not others. No complaints. If something happened, you say, قَدَّرَ اللَّهُ وَمَا شَاءَ فَعَلَ. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed, it happened. That's it. And then he will be quiet. Sometimes people, their children die. Very young children, they die. Never complain. This is the qadr of Allah. You have patience. Don't complain, why Allah take my son, not other person's son? Why this one, not that? No. Allah knows best. He is Al-Alim and Al-Hakim. He has the full knowledge and He has the full wisdom. So out of His knowledge and His wisdom, He did this with you. And He knows better than you about yourself what is good for you. So you need to have the patience at that time, saying that, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this hard time, grant me the patience. Oh Allah, in this hard time, grant me the patience and replace this what is wrong happening to me with the goodness. This is the dua the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us. Allahumma ajurna fi musibatina wa akhlif lana khayran min. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, grant us the patience at this time and replace it with the best thing, good thing for us. So this is another kind of patience. So this is the foundation of our religion. 4 qawaid, 4 foundations of our religion, and one of them is the patience. Dear brothers, we need to have patience. When we have the patience, half of our problems will go. Because our tongue will be in our control. Our limbs will be in our control. Because we will be thinking all the time to please Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of us tawfiq. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد عباد الله رحمني ورحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون واذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر وأقيموا الصلاة